Hello, my dear students. Welcome back to the session. Till last session, we have discussed the RL series circuit, RC series circuit. And of course, we discussed RL series circuit. Okay. Now let's go with the parallel circuit. I told you already that I'm going to explain you the simple shortcut technique, how to find the time response. Okay. But still, we must also understand the concept, or conceptually, we must understand how we are going to apply the differential equations to determine the time response of a given circuit. Okay, this is very important calculation and procedure. But of course, in the exam, we have some special method in order to determine the time response that I will explain you after discussing a few examples here. The earlier one was question 2, now it is question 3. Question 3. Classroom workbook, question number 3. The earlier one was question 2, okay. Now let's consider the parallel circuit. Let me take the capacitor. This is R, and I'm opening the switch at t equal to 0. Current source is considered, V of t. The question is, find V of t for t greater than or equal to 0. Okay? Find V of t for t greater than or equal to 0. So what is the procedure again? Let's go with step by step once again. Step 1, obtain the differential equation for t greater than 0. Using KCL, because voltage is a variable you want, let us apply KCL or node analysis. Okay, what do you get here? V of t by R, the C dV of t by dt is equal to I. From this, d plus 1 by RC of V of t is equal to I by C. Is it clear? You're going to send the C outside. And from this, you understand that d is equal to minus 1 by RC. This is what the root of the differential polynomial. Okay? Therefore, what is VTR, Nana? Transient portion of the total response is K into e power minus 1 by RCT. And what is the steady state, Nana? V steady state is nothing but, okay, 1 by d plus 1 by RC into I by C. So when you substitute 0, so what you get? I by C divided by 1 by RC. CC gets cancelled. Finally, you got IR. Yes or no? Okay. So finally, you got a response, total response. From this, you get total response. V of t is equal to, okay, K into e power minus 1 by RCT plus IR. This you call as equation 1. Understand all of you, okay? Now, here's step 2. You have to go for t equal to 0 plus conditions. Step A, t equal to 0 minus first. What is our objective here? To find the V of 0 plus. But what is V? Voltage across the capacitor. Voltage across capacitor t equal to 0 plus can be determined just by finding t equal to 0 minus. What is the switch position? Closed. Can you charge the capacitor keeping a short circuit across it? No. You got now V of 0 plus is equal to V of 0 minus, nothing but 0. Now, step B, C are not required because already you got one initial condition. Only one initial condition is enough because there is only one arbitrary constant. Understand all of you, okay? Now, step 3. What is step 3? Apply t equal to 0 plus conditions to equation 1. So, V of 0 plus is equal to what? V of 0 plus is nothing but K into 1 plus IR. This value is how much? 0. Therefore, what is K? Minus IR. Therefore, the total response is V of t is equal to minus IR e power minus 1 by RC t plus IR is equal to, okay, from this, V of t can be written as IR into 1 minus e power minus t by tau, okay, where tau is equal to RC. It's a time constant once again. So this is the complete response you have got. Okay, this is again an exponentially increasing function. The voltage across the capacitor or the node voltage, both are same. Of course, the voltage across resistor as well as the current source, because all are connected in parallel. Now t equal to 0, then V of 0 is 0. T equal to infinity, V of infinity is IR. T equal to tau, now V of tau will become IR into 1 minus e power minus 1, 0.632 times of IR. Okay, so it is a time taken for the response to reach 63.2% of its final value. Yes or no, all of you? Okay, okay, you understand that, all of you? Okay, then now the waveform, when you see T, this is very clear, IR, this is V of t, starts from 0 and exponentially increases. This is IR 1 minus e power minus t by tau. And the response, when it reaches, okay, 0.632, somewhere around like this, let us say. This is tau. This is 0.632 times of IR. Okay, 0.632 times of IR. This is the total response that you have achieved, and it is the time taken for the response to reach 63.2% of its final value. Note on this. Note on that, all of you. Okay, so I think this part is over, right? Let me take another problem here. Question number 4, classroom workbook. The same question, what is V of t for t greater than or equal to 0? So usually you get the questions, what is V of minus infinity? What is V of t equal to 0 minus? V of 0 minus? What is V of 0 plus? What is V of plus infinity? Or what is V of t? V of t is asking means what? Is asking the time response. Sometimes the question may also come in the exam. What is the voltage at t equal to 1 second, or t equal to 2 seconds, or t equal to 10 seconds? For that, what you are supposed to do? See, if I am asked the question on 0 minus, 0 plus, minus infinity plus infinity, I know how to draw the circuit. But at t equal to 1 second, t equal to 10 second, I do not know the equivalent circuit. For that, what we do is, we first determine what is V of t, then we substitute t equal to 1 second or t equal to 0.1, whatever is asked, we can substitute and get the corresponding value. Okay? So, the questions are very clear. The response of a particular system or particular circuit can be determined at any point of time. Okay? If you have the generalized expression of V of t or I of t, you can find that V of t or I of t at any point of time. Yes or no, all of you? Just by substituting that value. Now, here, inductor is the given here. I think you can follow the same procedure, all of you. Step 1, for t greater than 0, what is that? V by R, 1 by L integral V dt is equal to I, differentiating with respect to t. What do you get? dV by dt into 1 by R plus V by L is equal to 0. From this, we can say d plus R by L into V of t is equal to 0. You know that d is equal to minus R by L, right? Now, what is actually VTR? VTR is k times e power minus R by LT. What is VSS? VSS is 0 because E is equal to 0, right? Therefore, what is V of t? K times e power minus R by L t. This is called equation 1. Okay. Now this is step 1. But what about step 2? T equal to 0 plus conditions we are supposed to determine. For that, you require t equal to 0 minus conditions. IL of 0 minus is what? 0. Then t equal to 0 plus conditions. Okay, you get V of 0 plus. Yes or no? In this step, we are supposed to find only current through inductor. Based on that, we construct t equal to 0 plus equivalent. Current 0 refers to open circuit. Switch open, entire current is passing through R. Finally, you got I into R. Therefore, now apply t equal to 0 plus to equation 1. Then V of 0 plus will be k into 1. But this is IR. Finally, when you got k is equal to, okay, when you got k is equal to IR, then you got the response V of t is equal to IR e power minus t by tau, where tau is equal to L by R. Okay, it's a time constant. It's very clear. It is exponential decaying function. That's very, very clear. The final value is very clear. The initial value is very clear. That is I into R. And final value is 0. It decays to 0. And let us say this is 0.368 times of IR, where T is equal to tau. Okay, this is voltage across the inductor or resistor or the node voltage, whatever it is. That's it. Please do that. Note on that, I will explain you another simple shortcut technique to solve the problems. This right? So now let us discuss a simple technique to determine the time response. Some shortcut method, some simple formulas are there to determine the time response. But you also know that every simple or shortcut method will have certain limitations. Yes or no? Shortcuts looks very nice, but definitely shortcut methods have certain limitations. You may not solve all the problems using shortcut techniques. Okay? So that is why I was trying to give you all the methods which are very, very important to solve the problems in all kind of problems. Okay? Now look at this. First, let us discuss what kind of networks you have in the transients. Okay? Look at this, all of you. The networks are of different types based on the elements and based on the inputs. Understand all of you? Okay? So networks can be divided. Networks can be classified into two based on input or excitation or based on the elements. Okay? Based on the input, okay, based on the input, you may have step response, non-step response or ramp response systems. Step response based system, that means the input is step input. When ramp input is given, then the response is called ramp response. When impulse input is given, you get impulse response. So impulse response based networks, step input, step response based networks. Yes or no, all of you? The inputs might be anything. There are different inputs you might be having in the given network. You may have step input, that is U of t. You may have R of t. Yes or no, all of you? You may have, let us say, parabolic input. Yes or no, all of you? You may have step input, ramp input, parabolic input, impulse input. Okay? You may have, let us say, parabolic input, P of t. You may have dou of t, that is nothing but impulse. You may have shifting functions, U of t minus a, something like this. Yes or no, all of you? You may have anything, it might be. So different inputs might be there in the given network. Based on the elements, you can say first order, okay, first order network, or second order or higher order networks. Higher order networks. Understand all of you? Okay? First order and higher order networks. First order network, higher order network. The networks can be classified irrespective of the order. You may have step input, ramp input, parabolic input, impulse input, or even shifting inputs might be there. Shifting functions might be there. The input function may have a shifting function. Therefore, the networks can be taken in different combination. It might be like, okay, step input first order, step input higher order. Yes or no, all of you? Similarly, ramp input first order, ramp input higher order. Parabolic input first order, parabolic input higher order. Like this you can say. Yes or no, all of you? Okay. Now, I just divide all these inputs into two categories. First category is that step input. Understand all of you? Okay? It's not necessarily unit step, but step input. The other category is that non-step. So step response based networks, step response based, step response, okay, without any shifting. Now, non-step responses or step response with shifting functions. Understand all of you? Okay. You have two kinds of inputs, let us say. One is a step response based networks based on the inputs given, step response based networks. The other network is what? Non-step response based networks. Okay. First order networks, higher order networks. Now look at this, all of you. The shortcut technique that what I am going to discuss here using a simple formula. you can apply that formula or that simple technique only for the first order with the step response. I hope you understand this. Okay? The simple technique you can apply only using the first order networks using what? Step response. That is applicable only to this kind of networks. So a network should have a first order. That means either RL circuit or RC circuit. Here first order means what? Either RL or RC. That's it. Here definitely RLC. Definitely one inductor and capacitor will be there. At least one inductor, one capacitor will be there in the given network. Number of resistors doesn't matter how many are there, but here only one inductor will be there or only one capacitor will be there. If you have both, then that circuit is called what? Higher order circuit. All these higher order circuits, irrespective of the given input, the technique what I am going to explain, the formula may not be applicable. Understand all of you, okay? Sometimes you have a first order network, either RL or RC, but if input is a non-step input, okay, or else sometimes step input will be there, but that is having some shifting function. In such case also, this method is not applicable. So the method is applicable strictly to only what? Only to which networks? Tell me all of you. The first order networks with the input given is supposed to be what? Only step input without any shifting. Understand all of you, okay? So what is that, let us say? But you can ask me, sir, how can I solve the remaining circuits? The remaining circuits can be solved comfortably using, okay, using Laplace transformations, application of Laplace transformations. So that I will discuss later on, okay? So there are two types of problems. The problems are of two types. Problems are two types. The first type of problem, type 1, and type 2. What is the type 2? What is the type 1? First tell me all of you. The type 1 problems are first order circuits excited by step input with no shift. Okay, with no shift. This is type 1 problems. Type 2 problems. Type 2 problems, what are they? First order with okay, first order with non-step or first order with step input, okay, first order excited by, okay, first order excited by step input with what? With shift or higher order circuits. That's it. First category of problems are what? You have first order circuits excited by step input with no shift. Other than this, you take all categories into type 2 problems. What are they? Type 2 problem? First order by excited by non-step input, maybe ramp, parabolic, okay, you may have exponential, you may have a sinusoidal, you may have, let us say, impulse, anything it might be. Sometimes you may have first order with, of course, step, but the step is having shift, like u of t minus 2. That category of problem are also coming under what type 2 problems. The total problems are divided into two categories. I'm sure that if you can remember this, I'm sure that you can play with the problems. Okay. Then what is the other one? Higher order circuit. Higher order circuit excited by anything. It doesn't matter whether it is a step or non-step or shifting or non-shift. Doesn't matter. Higher order. All higher order problems will come under type 2 only. That's all of you, okay? So the type 1 problems are solved. Let me write clearly, all of you. Okay? Let me write clearly. Let me write very clearly here. I think you understand very clearly, like there are two types of problems, type 1 and type 2. So the type 1 problems are solved using formula, simple formula. Okay? Method 1 you are applying. These problems are solved using, okay? I'm sorry here, let me use it. Solved using a formula. Method 1 it is. Method 2, solved using application of Laplace transformations. You understand all of you, okay? In this also, we are going to solve using S-domain equivalent circuits. S-domain equivalent circuits approach. Understand all of you, okay? So these are the total problems available in the transient analysis. You take any problem that will fall under either type 1 problem or type 2 problem. Understand all of you, okay? Or category 1 problem or category 2 problem. There are two types of problems you have. Understand all of you, okay? So in our session, in this particular session and the coming couple of sessions, what we do is we deal with these kind of problems. Then we will go for dealing with the type 2 problems. Then we will see mix of these two problems. I hope you understand the point. Okay. So now what is that method 1 formula? First method 1, the formula is, okay, can be used here. X of t is equal to x of infinity minus x of infinity minus x of 0 plus into e power minus t by tau, okay, for t greater than or equal to 0 problems. I mean to say, if the switching operation is taken place at t equal to 0, if the switching operation is taken place at t equal to 0, then the response will be like this. X of t is equal to x of infinity minus x of infinity minus x of 0 plus. The total bracket is placed like this, e power minus t by tau. Okay, where tau can be calculated L equivalent by RTH or C equivalent into RTH. I hope you understand this. Okay. The tau must be calculated always for t greater than or equal to 0 or t greater than 0. Secondly, L equivalent is what? When you have more than one inductor. Yes or no, all of you? See, what is the first order circuit? Either it is RL circuit or RC circuit. RL circuit means it may have any number of resistors and it may have any number of inductors also. RC circuit means it may have any number of resistors and it may have any number of capacitors. When you have more than one inductor, you are supposed to calculate L equivalent. When you have more than one capacitor, you are supposed to calculate C equivalent. Yes or no, all of you, okay? Now, RTH, what is RTH? Is the Thevenin's equivalent resistance. L equivalent is an equivalent inductance. L equivalent is an equivalent inductance calculation. Okay, effective inductance. Otherwise, you can say effective inductance. And RTH is Thevenin's equivalent resistance determined. Thevenin's equivalent resistance determined determine across L equivalent terminals or C equivalent terminals. I hope you understand this. Usually to find RTH, okay, we remove the load, right? We require load terminals. Now here, L equivalent terminals or C equivalent terminals are treated as load terminals. You understand all of you, okay? L equivalent terminals are considered to be load terminals, or C equivalent terminals are considered to be load terminals. In case of RL circuit, L equivalent terminals. In case of RC circuit, C equivalent terminals. Okay? So C equivalent is nothing but what? Is effective capacitance. Effective capacitance. Understand all of you, okay? Now, you may have a doubt. Sir, what will happen if you have an inductor here, one inductor here, another inductor somewhere else, and I'm not in a position to calculate L equivalent because they are neither series nor parallel? I'm sure that this method is not applicable. Understand all of you, okay? There should be a facility, or it should be convenient to determine L equivalent as well as C equivalent. Understand all of you, okay? There should be always convenience for us to determine L equivalent as well as C equivalent values. If you're not able to calculate L equivalent or C equivalent values, this method is not applicable. You understand all of you, okay? I can take an example also. Like this, for example, you have L here and R here, some L here, let us say R here. This is L1 and L2. How do you find L equivalent here? They are neither series nor parallel. In such case, this method is not applicable. So how can I solve that? Then go for, that will again fall under what? Type 2 category only. Understand all of you, okay? I'm not mentioning it specially over there, but you have to understand wherever L equivalent and C equivalent are not possible, you push that kind of problem into type 2, then go for using Laplace transformation. That is nothing but S-domain equivalent circuit. I will discuss what is the S-domain equivalent later on. Okay? Well, now sometimes the switching operation may be taking place with certain amount of delay. Yes, you may have the switching operation or the disturbance with certain amount of delay. For example, you are, let us say, operating an elevator. We are taking this example. The elevator example is very clear. You are at 0 floor and started here, steady state. You are already initially steady state and you have reached that elevator after some time, let us say, to 4th floor. Now, after 4th floor, one more disturbance has come. Because you would like, somebody entered into 4th floor here, the elevator, same elevator, and wants to reach, let us say, 9th floor. Now, what will happen here after reaching here? Now you have another response. Yes or no, all of you? I would like to know the dynamics of the system after the first disturbance or first switching operation is taken place, how the elevator is operating. Okay? And how the elevator is operating when the second disturbance has occurred. That means when the second switching operation is taken place. I want to understand. Sometimes in the shopping complex, different complaints may come. Okay? While going to 4th floor, there is no problem with the elevator. It is going properly without any disturbance, without any, unwanted response and all. But from 4th floor to 9th floor, you may have a complaint. So I want to understand the dynamics of the system, given system, at different instances with the different disturbances. Understand all of you, okay? Now the switching operation, if you look at, here one switching operation is taken place at t equal to 0. Say, assuming that after 2 seconds, you have reached 4th floor, you have again pushed the button of the elevator, okay, after 2 seconds with respect to the first switching operation. You understand all of you? Where is that? When is that first disturbance occurred here? At t equal to 0. When is that second disturbance is occurred? At t equal to 2 seconds with respect to the first disturbance. I hope you understand this. Therefore, for t greater than or equal to, t naught. What is the t naught? T naught is the delay. Okay, the delay in the second switching operation with respect to the first switching operation. If you have that response, if you want that response, let us say x of t will be x of infinity, okay, minus x of infinity minus x of t naught plus into e power minus t naught by tau. This is for t greater than or equal to t naught. You understand all of you? Here the tau, where tau is for t greater than t naught, okay? And its value is what? Again, L equivalent by RTH, C equivalent into RTH. So there is no need to write it because you already know about it. Understand all of you? Okay, so this is a very, very important formula. One should really understand this formula. If you know this formula, I'm sure that you can solve 90% of the problems, because so far the problems are asked both in GATE or IES or even any government undertaking company written test. You see all the problems are based on this formula only. There are few problems which are asked, okay, in the type 2 category, where you are supposed to use application of Laplace transformations, nothing but S-domain equivalent circuit approach. So I'll discuss that S-domain equivalent circuit approach later on. First, you please copy this. It's very, very important. I think all of you understand. Please note down. Note this particular part also. There are total problems can be classified into two types. The first type of problem is what? First order circuits excited by step input with no shift. They can be solved using formula. That is the formula. Second type of problems are simple. First order excited by non-step function. That means RAM, parabolics, impulse otherwise. Or first order, sometimes first order circuit only, but excited by step input with shifting. U of t minus 2, U of t minus 10, like that. Or else higher order circuits. Any of these will fall under type 2. So to apply the formula, what are the conditions? Tell me, all of you. The first method, if you want to apply, this method is applicable to what? Only first order circuits that must be excited by step input with no shift. Second important condition, which we have not mentioned anywhere, but it is understood by looking at that formula, there should be a convenience, okay, or it should be convenient to calculate L equivalent in case of RL circuit, or else it should be convenient to calculate C equivalent in case of RC circuit. If you do not have that facility in the given network and the elements are arranged L1 somewhere and L2 somewhere else, and you're not able to calculate L equivalent, this method is not applicable. Okay, again, those problems can also be determined using what? The type 2, that is solved by application of Laplace transformations or S-domain equivalent circuits. I hope you finish this. So what are the problems we have solved? The few examples, that question number 1 to 4, you can even solve this using the same formula because they're all first order circuits. and they're excited by DC. DC is nothing but what? A step function. Yes or no, all of you? DC is nothing but a step function. But I would like to take a different problem here. Question number 5. Let us solve it. Find I of t for t greater than or equal to 0. Find I of t for t greater than or equal to 0. A, B. The switch is moved from A to B and expected to determine I of t here. Okay, all of you? I think you have finished this part, right? You can solve that. Okay. So, is it a first order circuit? Whenever the network is given, whenever you are asked to calculate the time response, so he's asking time response. Immediately you must make certain observations in the problem. Whether it is a first order, yes, it is a first order because there is only one inductor, there is no capacitor. Whether it is excited by step input, yes, it is a DC function, therefore it is a step input. Therefore, I can comfortably go with the what formula? Yes or no? Okay. So let me take that formula I of t. I of t is nothing but I of infinity, okay, minus I of infinity minus I of 0 plus into e power minus t by tau. Okay. So first let us find I of infinity. What is the procedure to find I of infinity here? You have to construct t equal to infinity equivalent circuit. When you construct t equal to infinity equivalent circuit, where is the switch position from A to B? It is moving. It is at B. An inductor is acting like a short circuit. Yes or no, all of you? Inductor is acting like a short circuit, and there is no force once the switch is moved to B. Therefore, I of infinity will be 0. Right? So it's very clear. There is no steady state response. Source free response, we call it. Understand all of you? Okay? Source free response. Now, I of 0 plus is very, very important. Yeah, 0 plus is always very crucial and critical, I'm telling you. But what is this I? I is the current through inductor. Current through resistor, sir, but current through inductor. I told you already. As far as current is concerned, okay, the current through resistor will definitely follow current through inductor. Okay, therefore, now what is actually t equal to 0 minus? When you find I of 0 minus, when you place the switch at A for a long time, because we are experts now in finding the initial conditions, yes or no? For that you require t equal to 0 minus, switch position is at A for a long time, and this is acting like a short circuit. V by R2, V by R2 is the current. Therefore, I of 0 plus is equal to what? I of 0 minus, nothing but V by R2. Now we need to find even the time constant. The time constant, remember, always you try to write something like this. Tau for t greater than 0. The response is for t greater than 0. Therefore, tau should also be calculated for t greater than 0. It is always a good practice to write this. Okay, tau for t greater than 0. Otherwise, there is a possibility of doing mistakes in the exam, I'm telling you. Okay. Now, what is the tau formula? L equivalent by RTH. Okay. What is L equivalent? L equivalent is what actually here? L. We need to find RTH. Now, RTH should also be calculated what? For t greater than 0. See, tau is for t greater than 0 is nothing but what? RTH is also for t greater than 0. Now, how it looks like? Tell me all of you. Switch is moved to B. So, something like this. Okay, and Thevenin's equivalent resistance must be calculated across what? L equivalent terminals. Where are the L equivalent terminals? These are the L equivalent terminals. And when you look into the network, okay, when you look into the network through, okay, the L equivalent terminals, this RTH will become what? R1 plus R2. Therefore, tau is equal to L equivalent L by RTH R1 plus R2. Therefore, now if you substitute, okay, all these things in that particular formula, I of t is equal to, what is I of infinity? 0 minus V by R2 into e power t by tau. Tau means denominator is, right? So it will be getting now minus of R1 plus R2 by L into V by R2, okay, into e power minus of R1 plus R2 by L of t. This is what I of t you get. Understand all of you, okay? So this is how you can solve the problem. I stop the session here and we discuss the remaining things in the next class. There are so many problems on the formula, method 1. We have a lot of problems actually to be discussed, and 90% of the problems have come so far in the exam based on this method only, simple formula. Okay, so we'll see in the next class.